We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a very special bonus episode of Coastal News podcast. We are celebrating our second anniversary.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. Hello, Si. I'm joined by Si.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Celebratory.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you too, Sophie. Thank you.
Oh, are you excited?
Yeah, I love celebrating these sort of milestones with you.
Yeah.
Your episode you're in conversation with was fab.
Was it? I don't really remember it now, but yeah. Tell you what.
That's how pissed you were. Yeah.
I was a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years though.
Honestly, where has it gone?
I don't know. I mean, like, you've been here from the start, but can you believe that, like, 2 years ago, can you believe that you'd still be going, still be here, still be doing it?
No, not in a million years, let alone two.
No.
And I think, and I'm still enjoying it. I don't know about you. I'm still loving it, and just loving the whole experience. You know, sitting here, downloading the week about something that I really love with a like-minded person who's become a great friend. So I'm having an absolute blast, and long may it continue, I say.
Chin chin, yeah, agree with that one, definitely.
Mm.
So, listeners, for any of you that have been with us for the long haul, thank you, first of all. Thank you for being with us for the long haul.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And you'll probably know the score by now because we did something similar last year. So this time last year we had our 1 year anniversary. But for any new listeners, what we're doing this week is we've got a few bonus episodes, and I say bonus because these are in addition to our main podcast. So we always, you can count on us to release an episode every Saturday morning. Come rain or shine, come holiday or not holiday. We are here every week, can't we? On a Saturday morning.
Yeah, a continent won't stop it.
Like, it won't. We will record this podcast internationally. You know, we will record it in bulk. We will be here for you every Saturday morning. Come rain or shine. So this week, in addition to our Saturday episode, we are putting out some bonus episodes to celebrate our second anniversary. So go and check all the episodes out, all the content that we are doing as bonus extra content. Check it out on your podcast app of choice this week. And just thank you for all your continued support, really, whether you're listening to the podcast regularly or you're joining in with us talking about Home and Away on social media. We appreciate every single one of you, and that's genuine. Like, we mean that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. So this bonus episode that we're doing right now is called In Conversation With. So what we're doing in this episode is we're kind of breaking the fourth wall, because I'm going to interview you, Si. Heads up.
Wogan.
Heads up. I know, right? Getting my best Wogan out. Oh, I'm not in that league. I can't be a Wogan. I'll be I don't know, who's a more shitty presenter. I won't name a name, but I'll be one of them. I'm going to grill you. I'm going to ask you some questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So enthusiastic. Oh wow. Okay, the enthusiasm is real.
With trepidation, I'm ready.
I'm nice. You don't have anything to fear. It's all good. We're all friends.
I've just not prepared. That's what it is.
That's fine. You don't need to prepare. You know everything. You are Mr. Home and Away, so you don't need to prepare. Okay, so before we get into your grilling and your questions, my questions, I should say, about Home and Away, the show for the last 12 months, and also the podcast, everything that's been happening for the last 12 months. Let's do a quick recap for the people. I just mentioned the people that listen to our show. Some people have been here for the long haul. Thank you very much for that. And we've also picked up a lot of newbie listeners this year as well. So just a quick wee recap for those kind of people that might not know us all that well. So you started the podcast 2 years ago, didn't you?
Yes, to the day. Yeah.
To the day. And
Yeah.
we didn't even know that each other existed 2 years ago, did we?
That's balmy now, you know. You know, because we talk so much.
Every day. I talk to you
I
more than I talk to my family.
Same. I spent 3 days thinking, oh, I'll ring my mum. um, yeah, it's mad to think that 2 years ago, like, I just put an episode out. Didn't know you from Adam.
Yeah.
I was a big tweeter and a big contributor to sort of online forums for Home and Away. So maybe we crossed without knowing it before that. I don't know. Certainly,
you definitely read one of my tweets out on an episode in season 1 of the podcast. You read one because I was like, I was listening to it and I was like, that's me. Obviously, I tweeted you something about Alf because I love Alf. You know, he's my favourite, my TV granddad. And you read it out on the episode, and I was like clapping at home with joy that, oh, that was me. You were like, and Sophie Cheekbones, and I was like, that's me, like a geek. So I definitely knew of you because season 1 was all you. I mean, you are the super fan genius behind Coastal News, and I'm just
listen.
I'm just a coattail rider. I'm a
You're
coattail
really
rider.
cooking. No, you're cooking these eggs now.
No, I'm serious. This is all true, all facts. No defamation suit.
It is, but I'd rather. But I'd rather not sort of be reminded of season 1, if I'm being honest.
Why? Why?
Honestly, have you listened?
I did listen. I was a listener. That's how we got involved because I tweeted you. I used to tweet you when you were doing season 1. You read out one of my tweets one week, and then you contacted me. For anybody that doesn't know this, you contacted me on Twitter. You just sent me a DM one day and you said, I'm looking for, guest presenters to come on the show and talk about Homers with me. Would you be interested? And I said, yeah, I can do that like one Friday night.
Sorry.
And that one Friday night, I was like, and then you were like, can you come back next week? And I was like, yeah, I'll come back next week. And you haven't got rid of me and it's been 18 months. But the first season was all you. And you are the reason why we have Coastal News. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. This is your baby.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
No, it is genuinely. It's your baby. You thought of the name. I mean, I think the name is genius. I have absolutely no input in the name, but I think it's genius that you called yourself Coastal News. Were there any other names that you thought about calling the podcast before you called it Coastal News, or was that always going to be the name for the podcast?
No, I think I got to the name quite quickly, and then you know me now. You know, we're talking about a time when you didn't know me, but you know me now. And I can't think of anything else once I like something. You know, I'm sort of on that idea.
Yeah.
So I think once it just fitted, like that's the name of the fictional newspaper.
Yeah.
From Summer Bay, you know, and it just made sense that there would be a podcast about, from the local news, that kind of thing. And we're sort of covering the highlights of what's gone on in the area.
Yeah.
So the name fit for me in it, and I just couldn't see any other name other than that. And especially with something like Home and Away, some of the names, when you think of things from ideas, you think, oh, it's a bit wishy-washy. Oh, it's a bit,
Yeah.
And over the years, there's been so many things come and gone, so many fan sites and fan pages and fan accounts and stan accounts, all with various names. Hard to find something that's not been used yet.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I got to Coastal News quite quickly, liked it, and sort of stuck with it. Yeah.
I think it's genius because, like you say, it is the fictional newspaper of Summer Bay, and we see people reading the Coastal News. The front page of the Coastal News is used as a prop. The crossword is mentioned so many times. It's genius. I wish I had the brains to think of that. It's perfect.
Yeah, the crossword do you know, I used to do a little cross, for the Instagram and stuff,
Oh,
do you remember last year we did like...
You did me one for my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so cheesy.
I loved it.
I do wish we sort of kept that up. It's hard. It's so many things going on this year, isn't there? When we've been doing this third season, I've not really had chance to do it. But the premise of a newspaper opens you up to stuff like that. Lonely Hearts, crosswords, advertisements, obituaries. There's so many things you could do. Really, that we've sort of not tapped into yet.
It's early days. We're only on, 2 years. We've got hopefully plenty of time in the bag to do stuff. So
yeah.
So let's think about the last 12 months of Home and Away. So cast your mind back. So this time last year we were celebrating our 1 year anniversary. But now, 2 years down the line, I want to know, what have your highlights been for the last 12 years on the show? Is there any characters, any storylines, anything in particular that you've really loved over the last 12 months?
Yes. So, I've made no secret. Listeners of the podcast, regular listeners will know I've made no secret that I felt like the latter half of last year sort of took a bit of a nosedive for me, in terms of characters and story. I felt like the wheels came off a bit, because actually 2021 season of Home and Away and the first half of 2022 season was stellar for me. I thought the show was on top form, and I felt like some decisions were made, some outside influences, and a whole host of new characters. I felt a little bit displaced sort of last year. But to me, the standout bits that I enjoy, having said that, I should counteract that with, having said that, I am still absolutely engulfed in everything anything and everything to do with it, and thoroughly enjoy any episode. I must say that. A standout for me since we last sat down last year has got to be how much story Marilyn has had. And the whole retcon of Heather's existence, and I really part of my enjoyment of the story, like the storyline itself, was sort of indulgent and camp, and and at times really over the top, and everything. Sometimes I like to indulge in that stuff. So for me, it really fed that side of my personality and my want, out of the show. But also I quite enjoyed poking fun at it as well, like me and you on a Friday night on air, like the dates don't add up. She wasn't, she
Get
wasn't
the calculator out.
Broken Hill, no chance. That whole thing, just I just loved it, and Emily Simons got to show once again how and it'd been a long time since she'd been able to Marilyn having such a rich story. It involved the past, something that people bleat on about, and it got Marilyn back up in front of the show, and that for me is a massive standout of the last 12 months. That's my highlight, is that Marilyn got the main story. It wasn't some poster girl, poster boy, gangster. It was Marilyn was the main character of the year.
One of the veterans that we've known for so long and we love, and you're right. It was a lovely thing for her to get, I think, have that spotlight on her.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the execution, I mean, especially where we're at now with it, like it didn't happen. The execution, how it concluded, would I wanted something different? Probably. It might come, we don't know, because now Marilyn's got a daughter, and Marilyn's struggled with the idea of not being able to have kids, and that's a major part of her backstory. So we now have that door's been prized open. We've got that story to fall back on at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, so you did mention just briefly then that that you thought at the end of last year the wheels sort of started to come off. So although we've talked about your highlight of last year, there were, I'm guessing, some lows from last year as well, or from the last 12 months, something that you didn't enjoy, or something that you would have done differently if you were the writer, or something that you would have chosen not to do at all.
Yeah.
What would that have been, or what would they have been if you could choose?
Yeah. Saying, there's a low point, it feels a little strong, because there isn't a low point. Whether this, like you mentioned on your In Conversation with yesterday, you have a bit more of a critical angle when you view it, because you're on a podcast. Do you know what I mean? So of course you're a little bit more analytical of everything rather than just taking it on face value. Last year for me, the second half, there was lots of new characters in influx of it, that I struggled then to find my feet again. I think I've got it now, and I knew as a 30-odd year watcher, viewer of the show, I knew I had to weather the storm.
Yeah.
And I'd get there, and I'd get through, trusting the process. Loads of people I don't know, things will bed in, and it's we're here now 1 year later, and it's fine. The one thing I loathed, Sophie, and this won't be a surprise, absolutely loathed, was Jasmine's exit.
I knew it. Yeah.
That to me was a complete disservice to one of the most popular characters, one of the most genuine actresses, actually, that we've had. Sam Frost did an absolute amazing job with Jasmine, and I think she had to over. Do you remember, cast your mind back pre-pod, before you knew me? All the stuff, the adversity, the negative press Sam had to face when she was cast as Jasmine on Home and Away. I know, because of her background and things, and her, she was from a reality show in Australia. Which was really judgmental. I thought, give the girl a chance. Jasmine soon became an absolute fan favorite. You couldn't. Social media was awash with love for Jasmine. You didn't always like her decisions that the character made, but she was a solid favorite. And I think her exit was an absolute criminal way to write her out. And I hope that's not the end. I really hope the reason it happened like it did was because the door is open, and Jasmine is isn't that chapter's not completely ended. I really do hope, and look, Home and Away, I'm not holding out my breath. Home and Away is not the best for bringing people back, but that's the one thing that sort of comforts me. But yeah, for me, the low would be how Jasmine did at the end.
They did her dirty, really, didn't they? I mean, I understand the stuff that went on outside of that. It was all due to COVID and mandates and that kind of thing, and I get all of that. I get the reason why the actress had to leave, but it felt like to us as the viewers that we had a long time to know that she was leaving, but actually the show wrapped it up really quickly, and I think that's what left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, isn't it? But it's interesting what you say about the door. The door's never shut, really, is it? So she could have come back, I guess.
And she's not died. She's not, I would welcome it, with open arms, really, if that was what came out.
Cool. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you as well. So we know that this year for Home and Away, we've reached a pretty big milestone, haven't we? So January of this year, 35 years on air. I mean, that is a big achievement. It's not something to be sniffed at. It's not something that we've, as a show, has felt like it's been massively celebrated. I guess because it's not a round milestone. It's not 30 years. It's not 40 years. 35 years. It is a bit of a strange milestone to celebrate, I guess, in its own way. But it is still a massive achievement for a show to be on air for 35 years. And we're only in June, so the anniversary was in January, and we're only in June now. We're recording this in June, although this episode will go out in July. So we're about halfway through the 35th year of Home and Away, and we were promised, weren't we, this year, that this milestone that we were getting in January was going to coincide with a big year in terms of Home and Away storylines and drama and things that we were going to get this year. We were promised, we were dangled that carrot, weren't we, back in December, I think it was, that the 35th year was going to be a big explosive. I think it was explosive, the use of the word. So what do you think so far? So we're halfway through this 35th milestone. What do you think of the storylines that are happening in 2023 so far? Are they delivering what they promised us?
Yes, I believe so. I think this year has been, when I think what's gone on so far in these measly 6 months, blimey hell, and I think what we've covered on here, we've had the bikey stuff, the bikey and the text fallout, that whole Cash shooting that fella and not having his vest on.
Marty,
that's it.
The president. President of the Vikings.
I forgot about that.
I wish I could forget. No, I loved it.
Wedding of the year. Flick that, ended in a petrol station before it began in flames, which, by the way, was phenomenal on screen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like that scene where the car toppled and wouldn't stop, and and the car was just roly-poly and slamming into this and slamming into that, and I don't think I took a breath for about 50 seconds watching it. I thought that was, everyone involved in that was, hats off to you. Thank you. Phenomenal piece of TV, I thought. Severely overlooked, actually, by most people. Like the stuff that goes on this show. We've got Lyric have cemented themselves and splintered into their own stories in a gorgeous way. There's nothing really explosive, to coin a phrase, going on with them, but they're no longer. Last year, I couldn't get on board with them. They were separate from the rest of the Bay and the community. I really struggled to really get on board with, with sort of understanding their storyline and relating to them. But now that they're going into, like Remy's gone into Bree's domestic story.
You hated him.
Oh my God, couldn't stand the fella. But there was now to him at that point.
Yeah.
Other than he was in a band and he liked women. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I couldn't stand the fella, could I? But now, months of that developing and embedding him in, and Eden, Kirby to a lesser extent, but I think they've managed to weave in and sort of settle in. So I've really enjoyed that this year. It's in 35th year. The actual Mari wedding that ended up happening was gorgeous. So we're having weddings, we're having deaths, we're having things, cars blow up. We've now got this very recently here in the UK, Andrew storyline, looking very classic Home and Away, very nod to the times of the past. I'm feeling like this year is really solid for me. Like, I can't keep up.
Mm.
You mentioned something quite interesting on your In Conversation episode about it's all great and it's a great year. Yeah. God, I forgot already. You were saying it's a great year. It's all good, but everything's still stable. The show hasn't been rocked yet, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And you've got
I wasn't shooketh. I wasn't shooketh yet.
Yeah, you're not shooketh yet. And you're right. You're right. For this year to go down in history, you know, like the 30th year went down in history because Martha was back from the dead, and you know, and Alf was down a hole, confessing his sins, having an heart attack.
Down a mine shaft.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do need something that sends a ripple, don't we? So I agree with you. You got me thinking. I agree with you on that one. In the rest of the year, we do need something that's going to rock everyone's core, don't we? I asked for a whodunit last year. It's not happened. I'll just stick it Bill again. I want a whodunit. And Marilyn again. She's still out there, up front and center. One of my favorite characters. She's got this whole pyramid scheme storyline. So year of Marilyn, 35th year. I'm thinking it's for me. It's got so much going on. In fact, probably too much at times. Sometimes you can take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic 35th year so far. But I do agree. It needs to be extra.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Here for the extra. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. So earlier we talked about the podcast, you know, the sort of the roots of the podcast, how this all started 2 years ago, your baby. I think it's fair to say that now the podcast has been going from strength to strength. Our audience numbers are growing. We've been on a steady kind of increase in terms of downloads. We don't talk about this very often because we don't talk about charts and downloads all that often, even either on the show or between us, because it's not the reason why we do the pod. So it's not like, you know, we're not chasing those downloads, we're not chasing those numbers. We do this because we genuinely enjoy it. And I think you said that at the top of this episode, that, you know, you're still enjoying this, you know, still enjoying doing the podcast. I mean, it's not an easy job, is it? It is hard yakka. I think people don't really think we turn up on a Friday, have a glass of wine and just talk. There is a lot of, believe it or not, there is a lot of prep that goes on behind the scenes.
It doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't sound like it, but there is, you know, there's a lot of work that we put in. So just generally about the podcast, you know, obviously you still enjoy doing it. What do you enjoy doing about the podcast, or what is your highlight from the last 12 months of doing the podcast?
There's so many, Sophie. Honestly, there really is. I'll try and keep this quick because my answers aren't being very quick, are they? I can't take anything away, right? Talk about numbers, talk about, you know, growth, talk about how amazing it is. Nothing will touch or come close to the fun that I have just getting on the phone with you on a Friday night and just chit-chatting crap about Home and Away. Honestly. Honestly, I really genuinely now, you know, being a serious moment, thank you. You know, thank you so much, because it's seriously, like, you've become one of my best friends.
Don't you make me cry.
And I honestly genuinely look forward to it. I text you on a Friday morning, happy podcast day.
Podcast day. We must tell the viewers that 1 week there was a typo involved, and now it's happy podcast day, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, our entire friendship is a typo. That's mainly me. You know, inside jokes that we have, and you know, I've just honestly found I met my maker, and that's how I see it. So I think, you know, podcasts aside, that is like by far the best. And I've only enjoyed that more. I haven't in the slightest tired of it. You know, we all have days, don't we, where we think, "Oof, you know, I'm not feeling it." I've never felt that doing this. I've never dreaded doing it or felt like I didn't want to, because I know that you'll just instantly pick me up.
It's always a bit of a therapy session, isn't it? I mean, whatever, because we genuinely, like, break the fourth wall here. We genuinely have bad weeks, don't we? Whether that's personal, whether that's work related, whatever, just like everybody else. But on a Friday night, you forget all that, and we genuinely do have a laugh, don't we? Every week, it's not forced. It's not something we put on it. You know, people that listen to us for a long time, they'll all hear us cracking up laughing. It's genuine. You know, we do literally laugh our asses off on the podcast, and despite what's going on outside of the podcast, we always manage to, you know, have a laugh on here, and it's a nice little escape from everything else that's going on.
100%, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's what a way to start your weekend. I honestly look forward to it. I really do. It's my highlight, really. I probably says a lot about my life.
It's for me as well. Like, it's the end of my working week. It's like at 5 o'clock on a Friday, I draw a line under the rest of the week, and I go, right, well, I've got Homers to watch, I've got dinner to eat, then I'm on the podcast with Si, and then that kind of sets off my weekend. It's like I spend the whole of Friday night laughing. I mean, who could ask for more than that, really?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously that is the best highlight of doing this in the last 12 months and beyond. We went to 2 episodes a week, didn't we, this season as well? We had a bit of and I think we've hit on a bit of a nice, I mean, it gave us more work because it meant we slotted in a new segment, which has mainly fallen on your lap, hasn't it, really? The Your Say on the Bay, which we introduced. But that has just sort of sent our engagement with our listeners through the roof. And do you remember us sitting down sort of last year working out ideas for the new season, starting in January, and we were brainstorming new segments we could do, anything we could try, and then we floated this idea of sort of spinning off the first look into its own episode, and then that allowed a bit more time on the main episode for this new segment. And we were like, you know, we'll see how it goes. People, and it gives people a choice. You know, they might want a spoiler, they might not. And we'll see how it goes. See if people listen to it, and if they listen to it, great. If people don't, we'll listen to it. We know they don't want it, and we'll just stop doing it. You know. And then the response we've had is just been completely out of the blue. You know, the first look episodes are downloading similar numbers to the main episode, and I just, the amount of people that contact us now on the back of listening to these 2 episodes every week, saying that they're listening to us and they're sharing their thoughts with us, and they're saying, I'm listening to the podcast and I agree with this or I disagree with that, or that, you know, I'm listening now and I've heard the latest episode and I'm just doing my cleaning on a Saturday, and you know, we've had so many of those comments this week, this year, that, you know, it's, you called it humbling, and I think you're right. You know, just thank you, because we're just 2 mates watching Home and Away, chatting about it, and we want to chat with you about it as well, and you are doing, and what more could we ask for? So that your Say on the Bay, introducing that segment, has been one of my highlights on the podcast this year. There are others. I could be here all night. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it as well, because it is one of my highlights. I'll be honest, it is good fun to hear what other people think and interact with other people. Yeah,
and my experience is a little bit different to yours, because you mainly lead on it. Like, it's always a surprise for me. Like I've seen some of the comments, but like most of them that you could, that you read out to me, I'm reacting to them live on the recording. So they're genuine reactions, and it's quite. I don't know. I listen back and I think, well, this is quite. I would listen to this. If it wasn't me on it.
I think it was your idea to do that, and I think it has worked out really well. So yeah, I think it is a highlight of this year, definitely.
Yeah, you're doing the work, so thank you.
It's not work if you enjoy it. It's all fine. Okay, so we watch Homer's on My5 in the UK. So I'm going to segue from My5 on the channel My5 into your My5. What are your My5 for the next 12 months? So if I were to pass you Aladdin's magic lamp and say you've got 5 wishes, 5 things that you're allowed to wish for the next 12 months, whether they be about Home and Away or the podcast or anything in between, what would you wish for?
You'd think I would have thought about this, knowing this is a right. Okay,
we did this last year. Sorry, come on.
I know, and yesterday. Okay, right. Home and Away. For Home and Away, I would like. I want some sort of story for Irene.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like, oh, give her a story, she's done nothing. But I really want something that puts us. I want a house. I want a full house at Irene's. I want people lodging there. I'm not even bothered if it's like a kid's returning, although that would be great, because they do exist, people.
Apparently, yeah.
But I want Irene. I've just called it the year of Mars. I want the year of Irene now.
Irene?
I want Irene. I want Irene, putting the world to rights in the beach house again. And I want her to have the juiciest of juicy stories. Maybe it's something to do with her health. Maybe, although her cancer story was awful, I really didn't like that, so I don't want anything like that. But I don't know. I would like, and do you know what? I think she needs a fella.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think this. I've seen this comment a lot on the old socials, as Homers call it. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, I just want her to be the character next year. I want her to be out and up front. Now, you wanted Rue dead, so I'm going to leave that one because.
Yeah, sorry, Georgie.
I think a character like Rue would be shocking enough, and also we could do without her. We could survive without her.
Yeah.
Marilyn definitely could thrive without her. Oh God.
Yeah. Thrive. Never mind survive.
Thrive. I would like some form of community storyline. Like town council wants to do something and everybody's up in arms and everybody rallies. Something like that. There's a meeting at the surf club now. We've got chairs.
Yes.
Something like that. A little bit like the old days. Yeah, I'd like something like that. Maybe somebody runs for like mayor or something, or a councillor, and then because that is so rich in story. That there could be beach cleanups. I mean, I know this is all like mundane stuff, but it's stuff that I feel like sometimes when you've got those storylines, those episodes where there's not a lot of action happening, these help you feel that community stuff. So, and local developments that could be controversial. We've had it in the past.
Yeah.
So, that sort of businessy local council community up in arms. I'd love something like that because I feel like we're in a good place with the cast and the characters that we have.
Yeah.
On the pod, I want to do some more collaboration. Do you remember last year and we did our second award show?
Oh yeah.
Well, we know, I mean, this is a bit of an exclusive, bit of a spoiler, but we know we're going to do a third. It's the annual, so we're going to do it. And, you and I have spoken about sort of getting down to the planning of that after this anniversary. So I would love. Last year we had a really great response, and I absolutely loved the collaboration we had with other podcasts, other soap podcast counterparts. I'd love to do something else, whether that be relating to the awards or not. I know, a crossover or something, because you and I enjoy other soap podcasts. We've got really close with some of our other counterparts, and we've sparked up some good rapport and some good friendships. So I think I'd really love to do some more of that from a podcast perspective. Number 4, podcast wise as well. You mentioned before, we don't really talk numbers. We don't really talk charts very often. But that we have had a lot of success this year in that department. We've been sort of in the Apple podcast charts, particularly. In some countries, we've been top 10. Some weeks we've charted in most of the territories that Home and Away airs in, and more. And our home turf, the UK, Great Britain charts, seems to be the stickler, doesn't it? Because it seems to be really, really competitive. There must be a lot of podcast consumption.
We do okay, considering we are vying against really big soaps like EastEnders and Coronation Street, and we're keeping up with some of those.
I think we punch above our weight, don't we?
Yeah.
And we made it to 21. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And do you know what? Let's 1 week in the next 12 months. Let's get top 20.
Yeah.
Not fussed if we don't. Like you say, when it's not the reason we're here, but it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To say that we're a top 20 podcast chart, and that happens by people listening, liking, subscribing, and leaving a review is the best thing you can do for us. If you enjoy the show, so. But yeah, more and more of you are, as it's sort of mothballing as we go, isn't it? So. Yeah. We're very grateful. We just assumed we were talking to the ether. It appears we're not, and we hear you, and a lot of you reach out and engage with us, and we just love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, more that would be cool. That would be really cool. Just to have that little badge. Wouldn't change anything, but that would, just to have that little badge would be cool. And then finally, yeah, just to still be here, still enjoying it, and still cracking on. I think.
Yeah.
I think we've hit on a good formula. We've gained some momentum. And I just want to carry on. Is that a cop out?
No, I'm glad to hear it, to be honest, because obviously that's what I want as well. So, I'd be heartbroken if you said, nah, I don't want to do it anymore, because as I said earlier, you started this. I don't think it would be Coastal News without you. If you said I'm going to jack it in, I wouldn't carry on without you. That would be it. So, I'm just glad to hear that you want to carry on, really, as cheesy as that might be in itself. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. I if there's one thing I can do, it's talk about Home and Away.
Yeah, we're good at that, aren't we?
Yeah.
It might be too good at that, actually, because some of our episodes are a bit long.
I know. Sorry, they're getting like I said, we're putting so much into it. You talked about the yakka that goes in. Oh my God.
The yakka. Yeah.
And I think we've reached our limit of how many new segments we can have, because
absolutely.
we can't spend any more time on this. So, but
we
it's
do
working.
have full-time jobs, so just breaking the fourth wall again. Like, this is our hobby essentially, because we work full-time and we work hard. Let's be honest, we make it sound like we don't, but we do work hard in our normal jobs, and then we've got this on top. So it is hard, Jackie. But I'm just super glad that you want to carry on, because yay!
Can I have a
Absolutely.
sixth one?
Yeah, go for it. I'll let you have a sixth one. Just because I love you. Come on.
Oh, thanks. I'd like to do more. I'd like to meet you again and do more.
Yay!
And
Really?
yeah. Oh my God, we had a right day.
We enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know, who knows whether we can do something with that in terms of our listenership.
Yeah.
In the future. But yeah, I want to do more of that. I want to get out and get off the shackles of the mic.
Yes.
That might be a little bit premature, but yeah.
I want you to take me to bingo, because I've never been to bingo.
Right, we're going to bingo. We'll organise it. Oh my God.
I'm going to be awful at bingo, but because first of all, maths. I am maths dyscalculia, I think it's called. But yeah, I just want to go. You know the what's the bingo called? That's what's the the one where the people get their clothes off and stuff. What's that one called?
Oh, the bongo one.
Yes, I want to go to that.
Oh right, okay.
As well. I want to try normal bingo, but then I want to try. Is it bingo bongo or something, or bongo bingo?
Let's do it. Right.
Yeah.
We'll sort it. Yeah.
Cool. Right, that's on the list. Wish list. What else have we got to add? Well, thank you for answering my questions, really, because I've actually really enjoyed this little bonus episode chat. We don't get to do this very often on air. We do talk about stuff like this off air, and we don't get to include the listeners in a lot of this chat. So it's been really nice to be able to just download and just it's just been really nice. And just want to say a big thank you, really, firstly for starting the podcast, as we've talked about. Secondly, for trusting me to come on board, because that's a lot of trust. That's a lot of trust.
Never a doubt.
And then thank you for all the hard work that you put in, because as I said it before, Coastal News wouldn't be the same without you. It wouldn't exist without you. So
thank you. You too. I genuinely mean that, because I could say the same to you. I could say, I probably, if it was just me talking to myself, would I still be here halfway through season 3? Probably not. So thank you to you too. Yeah.
It's a proper love fest, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. God, people are going to be right turned off.
Whatever. But thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. But that's not all.
Oh.
Because I've got one more thing up my sleeve. If you're ready, we're going to do a quick home and away quiz.
Okay.
Yeah. You sound really, really excited. Are you ready for your home and away quiz? Now, I went online. I found a quiz. Now, some of these questions are basic questions, which I hope you get right, obviously. Some of them are slightly more tricky, but I still have confidence that you're going to get, going to smash it 10 out of 10. So are you ready?
You know what my memory's like, though. Go on.
Especially on a Friday. Yes. I have every confidence in you. Okay. This one you'll get. Smash it out the park, I'm sure. Where is home and away set? This is multiple choice. Is it Autumn Bay, Spring Beach, Summer Bay, or Summer Beach?
Summer Bay.
Oh, let's just have a quick look. Oh, yes, you're right.
Autumn Beach sounds good.
Autumn Beach. I quite like. Yeah. Sounds like, autumn's probably my favourite season, to be honest. The insects are starting to die. Although the spiders come out, I guess. I don't like that bit. But the thing I don't like about summer is hay fever and sweating and insects. So, but it's Summer Bay, obviously. Well
it's
done.
always summer. Yeah.
Always summer in Summer Bay. Right, cast your mind back. Character, Rick. What is Rick's full name? Is it Eric Fletcher, Richard Dolby, Eric Dolby, or Rick Fletcher? Rick's
He's
full
an
name.
Eric Dolby. I'm
He
sure he's
is
an
an
Eric
Eric
Dolby.
Dolby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it says here, Rick wanted to leave his old life as the bad boy of Summer Bay High behind him and therefore became known as Rick Dolby rather than Eric Dolby. Now, to me, actually, Rick Dolby sounds like more of a bad boy than Eric Dolby, but I kind of get where they're coming from.
Yeah. Eric Dolby sounds like someone,
He sounds like a
computer.
square, doesn't he?
He's on a computer
Nerd.
science course. Yeah.
He's a total nerd. But yeah, apparently Rick Dolby sounds less of a bad boy. I had a bit of a thing for him, actually. Shouldn't fully admit that.
We all had a thing.
Thought he was quite, yeah.
Get in line, woman.
Oh, yeah. Had a bit of a. Anyway, moving on. What is the name of Peter's son? Peter Baker, this is. So, is it Bobby? Is it VJ? Is it Ryan? Or is it Drew?
Ryan.
Oh, it is Drew.
Drew. Really?
Remember Peter Baker? Yeah, remember he was Amanda Vale's kid and he had like the sort of curly, not a Vandervale kid. He had an affair with her. He had an affair with her.
Sorry.
He went out with Amanda Vale's kid. He went out with
I've got confused here.
What's his name?
I was thinking about what's the name's son? Leah's husband's son. He was called
Dan.
Ryan, wasn't he? Yeah.
Dan, yes.
Dan had a Ryan. Drew was hot, actually.
Drew was very, and he had the Stacey's mom affair with Amanda Vale. Do you remember he was dating Amanda's kid, who was Nicole, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was Belle.
Was it Belle? I can't remember now. All the names sort of blur into one. Yeah, Amanda Vale's. Yes, it was Belle. Yes.
Before Aidan and Belle was a thing.
Yes.
Oh my God, my mind's hurting.
The writer at the time, he admitted that this whole storyline where Drew had an affair with Amanda, who was Peter's ex, this is why it was all a bit incestuous, because Drew was Peter's kid and he was Dan's nephew, but Peter had a thing with Amanda, didn't he, back in the day?
Yeah.
And Amanda had got this kid with someone else. She's got this kid, Belle, and Drew was going out with Belle. But then Drew started this like side affair behind Belle's back with her mum, Amanda. And one of the writers admitted that he based this whole storyline on Stacey's mum. You know the song by Fountains of Wayne?
Yeah.
Stacey's mum has got it going on. Yeah. He based the whole storyline on that song.
Really? I didn't know that.
He's admitted it. There's tweets about it where he said he actually asks, I think once a year he puts out a tweet and it's a picture of Amanda and Drew in a compromising position and he goes, tell me what song this storyline was based off, and it's Stacey's mom. Yeah.
Oh. I should have got that. I should have thought a bit longer. I was for some reason thinking of Dan, but yeah, Peter. You did say Peter.
Easily mixed, especially nowadays. I mean, God, this was ages ago, wasn't it? Absolutely. Yeah. In terms of Homer's things that have happened since then, this is a while ago.
Yeah.
So, I should have looked ahead because we've just been talking about it. Who does Drew have an affair with? Who could it be? Could it be Belle, Amanda, Matilda, or Leah?
Imagine Leah. Imagine. That would be Amanda.
Oh, let's have a look. Could it be? Yes, it's Amanda. I'm trying to act surprised. Amanda
who is alive, by the way.
I know. I wish she was dead, but she's not. Amanda tries to deny that she finds Drew attractive, but eventually she gives into temptation. She has an affair behind the back of Belle, her daughter, and Drew's girlfriend, supposedly.
She was a good baddie.
I really liked her. I really liked. Although I wanted her to die, I did want her to die just because it was shooketh. Yeah. It would have been a good storyline. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that era of Homer's. It was so good. Yeah. So good. Right. So, question number 5. What is the last thing that Sally and Flynn did before they fell asleep and Flynn died? Did they talk alone? Did they watch the sunrise? Did they dance? Or did they go to the park? I do remember this. Do you remember
I
this?
need to think. Yeah, but I need to think about this particular scene.
Okay, give you a minute.
His funeral sticks out more than his actual dying. They were doing a lot of talking. A lot of talking over the. No, I think they were talking or dance. No, they didn't dance. No, they were talking. They were talking about the kids. Yeah, it might be wrong. They could have been dancing, but I'm going to go with talking.
Is that your last final answer?
Yeah, I don't think it's right now, though. They definitely didn't go to the park, or what was the other option?
Go to the park, watch the sunrise, dance, talk alone.
No, I don't think they watched the sun unless it was out the window. Oh, go on, talking.
Talking. Okay, well, the answer is not talking, but you're kind of right, because this scene was, if you remember, that it was in the bedroom, the big bedroom at Summer Bay House.
Upstairs. I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're lying on the bed and they're having all these chats and they're getting all sort of close and stuff and talking about their life together. And it's all very lovely and very, very, very sad, because obviously he's dying and he's very young and it's quite horrific, really. But actually, the answer is dance, because while they were talking, they were looking at pictures from their wedding day. And they were talking about the dance that they had on their wedding day. So they decided to have one last dance. And they got up and they sort of danced.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a hokey pokey type thing. It was a very slow. Obviously, he was dying, so it was
could have been either or. Yeah, I knew it. I wasn't confident, but I knew dancing would have been a close second.
Yeah.
That whole death was really drawn out. Sally was sort of arguing with him for ages about it.
Yeah, she's really angry with him, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. So there was so many scenes blurred into one there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was 20 years ago.
It was a long time. It makes me feel really old, because I do remember this, because I was so shooketh by. I really liked Flynn.
Do you remember the? I mean, you talk about feeling old. The reading that
Oh yes,
Colleen did. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there.
Oh yeah, I did not die.
Did not die. Yeah. I can recite all that. You know.
Yeah. Sad. Okay. Question number 6. Ready? What is the name of Sally's surrogate daughter? Is it Beth, Cassie, Pippa, or Emily?
Sally's Pippa.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, it took me a minute.
Surrogate daughter. Cassie and Rick are as good as adopted daughter and son to Sally, but by blood, Pippa is her daughter, named after Sally's mother, who adopted her and was also the owner of the foster home in Summer Bay House.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pippa is the answer. Correct. What is the name? Oh, this should be easy for you, but this is bread and butter stuff for us. What is the name of the city that is often visited by characters in Home and Away and is very close to Summer Bay? Is it Vixen Rocks? That's an awesome name. Is it Yabby Creek? Is it Holly Crescent? Or is it Bowen Crescent?
Oh, that'd be Yabby Creek.
Yabby Creek? Oh, drum roll. Oh, yes, it is. It is a favourite shopping destination and holiday resort for many. It's also a very, easily shopliftable place for meditation bowls if you're Marilyn. Apparently. Okay, question number 8. Who sprained their ankle when they were stranded out in the bush? Was it the pilot of the plane? Was it Kim? Was it Kit? Or was it Belle?
Kim was there.
Kim was there.
but I feel like he was in more of a you know, aiding situation rather than being.
Being traumatized and yeah.
Okay, it was Kit. It was Kit.
Kit, final answer?
Yeah.
It was Kit. Belle
Yeah.
and Kit got into an argument and Kit fell down a steep bank.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember that vaguely as well.
Yeah, I do. God.
I know, ages ago.
I am feeling old here.
Question number 9. This is one for people that have been paying attention because this was so random. Oh dear. Right. Beth, remember Beth?
Mm.
It says Beth turned off her father's life support machine as she thought it was mean to prolong his life. Is that true or is that false?
I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember.
Oh, can you not? Oh, this one sticks
No.
in my brain because it was so random.
I'm going to say true. It sounds like something she'd do. Beth wasn't really a character for me that was really very interesting.
No.
Go on. I'm going to say true.
This sticks in my mind, and the answer is false. And the reason it sticks in my mind because it was like one episode and then never mentioned again because it wasn't Beth that turned off the life support. It was Robbie, her son. Do you remember?
Oh, was it? No,
Yeah.
none of this is in any of my memory here.
Oh, it was the whole Amanda storyline. Because you know, Beth's father was Graham, and Amanda was gold digging, basically gold digging him. And everybody knew it, but Graham didn't know it, and everyone was trying to warn him and say, "Oh, she's a gold digger," and he was like having none of it and whatever. It was actually Robbie who turned off the life support machine. And it all came out in one episode because he had this like weird mental breakdown where he admitted it and he said, "Oh, Grandad didn't die of natural causes. It was me. I switched off the machine." And then it was never mentioned again, ever, ever.
Oh, Jesus.
It was so weird. It was like it was made like a really big deal for like one episode, and then that was it. Like, never mentioned.
Oh God. Well, no wonder I don't remember it.
Super weird. So yeah, I do vaguely remember that, but it was literally if you blinked and missed it, you would have missed it. But it just sticks in the memory because it was super strange. So it was Robbie. And then question number 10. The summer-based stalker's name was Eve, but she called herself Zoe. Is that true or was that false? Remember this storyline? Summer-based stalker.
Yeah, McAllister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
True?
She had 2 names, yeah.
Correct. She often went by other names to cover her tracks and enjoys using anagrams of her real name to give the police something to ponder over. She was a proper psychopath. I loved her.
That was good, that, weren't it?
It was such a good storyline.
Everybody talks about how good it was.
It was. Summer-based stalker was good. The cults, the summer-based stalkers, all of that. Oh, the mega drama. I'm into. Well done.
Thank you. Well, I got about 3 wrong, would you say? Yeah.
You got the hard ones. There's some really tricky ones there, but you did really well. So well done.
Going back a bit. Thank you. Going back a bit though.
So thank you. In conversation with Si, you have made it to the end. Well done.
Thank you. See you next year.
See you next year.